Lately, I've been thinking a lot about what it means to be a homemaker. Discontent and feelings of failure run rampant as we watch more and more content creators cosplay as housewives and homemakers, all while omitting the fact that there are teams of people helping them put on a pretty face and make homemaking look effortless with small children at home. With the uprising of glamorous tradwives taking hold on social media, there's value being lost in the little messy moments of life at home. While I enjoy an aesthetic housewife video as much as the next person, it's sometimes hard to remember that behind many Nora Smith adjacent accounts who are beautiful to watch and aspirational to follow, there are nannies and hired housekeepers and video editors and cameramen, a plethora of people making it possible for the impossible perfection of the aesthetic housewife front. And there's nothing wrong with an aesthetic video or two, let me make it clear. I love occasionally watching these accounts, but lately I've been craving a more realistic approach. For a long time, I've aspired to match the aesthetic of a vintage housewife because I love vintage and I wanted to fit in with the other homemakers online in the same space as me. I have tried time and again to be the fun, kitschy 1950s goodness with hair done up and constantly impressive outfits while sharing extremely specific 1950s housewife content that is somewhat staged from real life, but still allowing little peaks of reality to come in. But as a mother of young kids, a housewife with a big family in a small house, and a full-time content creator besides, running this channel as a separate beast from my daily life has drained me, and it's time for change. While scrolling endless unattainable housewife content, it occurred to me that I have the power to put something different out there. Something that is still beautiful, but real. Not staged for the internet, not drastically impossible to achieve. I have the tools and the skills to share real homemaking and to be the channel I've been craving for so long. I know I'm not alone in feeling less than adequate these days, and I want to be the reminder that there is beauty even in the messes. Much like I've said before, your life as a homemaker does not have to be spotlessly clean, glamorous, and perfect every day. Life ebbs and flows, and so do our homes. With little kids around, whether it's 1 or 3 or 5, there are bound to be crumbs on the floor, toys everywhere, and mess living in the corners. And that's okay. Mess is morally neutral. Making memories is not about how shiny your floors may be or whether all of your laundry is folded and put away. And while we can all aspire to a tidy home, at the end of the day there is beauty to be found in the undone tasks. The toys scattered over the floors from the children playing, the table full of dishes made from a family eating together, the kitchen and its endless cycle of mess from life constantly happening in the heart of the homes. These things are so beautiful and often missing from the glamorous, highly aesthetic Tradwife content. Content I have seen lately, more often than not, tries to shame other homemakers for having mess, crumbs, and unmade beds. Content that I have seen lately tries to moralize wearing a dress and beautiful hair and makeup over the comfort of yoga pants and a clean face. Content that pushes restrictive ideals on women and men alike because these types of accounts do not recognize the beauty of relationships that are supportive, varied, and not tied to dated ideals of how a home should run. Shut up, that's so cool. So I hope that I can change that. Ever so slowly, I have realized that I want to be creating a space that is inclusive for all homemakers, no matter their skill level, parent status, age, gender, or relationships. I want people to feel seen here, to know that it's okay to have days of flux, days where everything is done and days where nothing is done. It's okay to feed your kids peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. It's okay to make complex dinners. It's okay to have a spotless counter, just as it's okay to have stains that you can't get out. It's okay to have perfectly decorated spaces, and it's okay if there are nicks in the paint and dents in the walls. It's okay to have projects that are done slowly over time. It's okay to live a simpler life. It's possible to find beautiful moments even without a lot of money. It's possible to create beauty even through depression, postpartum hormones, or neurodivergent spirals. Because the beauty of home is not in its perfection, but in the comfort of mundane routines and little messes caused by living a happy life. There's something special about all of these little moments. As someone who is neurodivergent and often feels like a failure in my homemaking, filming this video was a little bit healing for me. I started to see my life through a new lens, so to speak, as I filmed life happening in my home and found beauty therein. One of the homemaking accounts I follow on TikTok passed along a quote that likened homemaking to a song and a prayer of love and atonement. Even if you are not religious, I think this sentiment can change how we look at our homes and think of the work within them. I know I struggle daily to be thankful for the home I have and the drudgery of the routines that feel endless. And I often find myself impatient with my family when they leave behind a mess in a room that I have just cleaned. And while I want to quickly reassure you that yes, my family does do chores too, I still have many young children, and often their helping is a little bit more hindering than helpful at this point. And as the mother of several neurodivergent children, integrating routines and chores can be taxing instead of helpful, so sometimes it is just easier to do it myself. But lately, changing my view of what housework is, from a job reluctantly and grudgingly done to a show of love and care for myself and those around me, has helped immensely in my outlook on my home. Every swipe of my broom across the floor or pass of a sponge over the counters is creating a harmony within the home that sings day in and day out. And that is beautiful and worthy of doing. I want to take a very quick break here and update you all on how I am liking my pink caraway pans. This isn't sponsored, and in fact, working with them, I'm not required to share it all unless I want to, but I had quite a few people interested in updates on how the pans function as time goes on, and while I meant to update you at 6 months, I kind of forgot until just now. I've had them for over a year and have been using them regularly as I do all my other pots and pans. One of the recommendations from Caraway is to hand wash and avoid using metal utensils, as well as using a lower heat setting for these pans. They heat up faster than my regular ones and hold heat for longer, so I do find that I'm using lower settings and things cook faster. Overall, the pans are just as nonstick now as they were a year ago, and I find them so easy to clean. While a few of my friends who also own Caraway pans found they lost their non-stick abilities after a few months and the outside scraped off easily, I haven't had that issue. There is some discoloration on the bottoms from the burners, but I suspect if I was more industrious about scrubbing that off, it wouldn't be there. I personally still really love these pans and would recommend the brand if it's affordable to you. Of course, there's no obligation, and like I said, this isn't sponsored. But I owed you all an update, and if you're interested in acquiring your own pans or looking to replace yours with something newer, there's a link in my description that will get you 10% off by using the code Kristina with Love 10. I want to reassure you all that my vintage site is not going anywhere, and I will probably find ways to integrate vintage routines, vintage recipes, and all of the other 1950s things that I love into my channel. Even with the focus being more on homemaking and a lot less on staging perfect things for the camera. You all know I've never been a huge fan of staging my home for the camera, but I am just leaning more and more into sharing real life and all of the beautiful memories that I can make here. I hope you'll stick with me as I start to share more of our daily life, memory making, and messes. And if you're new, I hope you'll join me in this adventure. As always, my wish is for you to feel safe and loved and valued, no matter who you are with or where you are. With love, Kristina.